Hello, welcome to the stream. If you have any questions regarding like self improvement and all, you can put it in the comments and I'll be replying to that. Hello, welcome to the stream. If you have any psychology or self improvement related topics that you want me to discuss, sure, shoot on right away. Hello, welcome to the stream. You're probably the first viewer. And hello, what's up, Sharon? Um, the way I was doing this is I was asking people to have their self improvement and psychology related questions asked here so that I can reply to them live. And for as of right now, we don't have the setup for having someone over on the channel. I was thinking I'll have you on the next live stream, so maybe next time I'll set up a way that like it's almost like a podcast so that people can listen to it. Okay, for the others who joined, I was saying that you can ask your self improvement and psychology related questions, self help, dealing with your mind, all those questions you can ask, and I'll try to reply to them as of my knowledge. And welcome to the stream. I believe that you are early investors of something really big. Trust me on that. Keep the chat active, by the way. Keep it active. Like, let YouTube know that this is bustling, and let YouTube promote the live to more people. Honestly, I've been here for 20 minutes and no one was there. I was about to read the book Essentialism by McKeown, and the book is about minimalism, the disciplined pursuit of less. But then, yeah, people showed up, and I'm like, let's talk to them. Ask your questions down below, and I'll be replying to them right away. Sharon, if you're still watching, you could ask some questions so that I can reply to it. It's kind of cold here at this time. I'm saying around like 10 degrees Celsius. And last live, I was literally freezing and I was wearing gloves, beanie, and everything. Today, I was able to keep the room a bit more warm. So that's why I'm sitting very chill like this. And yeah, don't have any hair no more because I decided to trim my hair because I felt like I was being indisciplined, not being disciplined for quite a while, and had to do it. Had to tell myself that you gotta be disciplined. It's the winter arc bullshit, whatever you wanna call it, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So, since you guys are not talking about anything, I might as well start talking myself. And today, why don't we talk about ruts? R-U-T, rut. I've done a video about it before, and I don't know how many of you have watched it, but let's talk about ruts. The thing about ruts is that you can't escape it. However disciplined you are, however focused you are, however much momentum you have, if you keep going with it, and if you believe that you are invincible, the rut is coming. What is a rut? You're having a good period of disciplined days, and eventually you reach a point where everything starts falling apart. Let's say you've been sleeping on time and you've been doing everything right, but what could end up happening is that one day you wake up a bit late, Let me just make sure that the sound's coming through. Yeah, it's coming through. So, one day you wake up a bit late and you miss a few of the good habits that you've been doing for quite a while, and then it just falls apart. It One missed habit leads to another few missed habits, and then before you know it, you are in a rut. You are struggling to make sense of what to do, how to do, or all things to prioritize now that you are in unfamiliar territory. So, as I was saying, you're just having a very good day. I mean, a very good couple of days. Everything was normal until it isn't. So, how do you deal with a rut like that? There is a few things that you need to understand. One of them is, what is a rut? Like, if just because you woke up late, just because you missed a few habits, doesn't mean that you have to. Just because you missed a few habits doesn't mean that you have to accept. You have to tell yourself that, hey, I'm in a rut. I am in something that I don't know how to deal with, and that, like, okay, now everything's gonna fall apart. No, no, that is where you go wrong in the first place. If you start telling yourself that I am in a rut, or I don't know what I'm doing, or I just lost my discipline, I'm supposed to wake up on time. If you tell yourselves all of that, then you're gonna just fall into that. But let's say you missed a couple of habits, then you just sit back and think, okay, I've missed a few habits. Let me just prioritize whatever matters for this day. So if I prioritize what actually matters, I've told about the 80-20 rule before. What you gotta do is, what 80% of the actions, I mean, sorry, what 20% of the actions give 80% of the results. Most of the habits that you have during your day is almost like fillers. Some of the things that you do don't really add up to whatever goal you have. Let's say you're a student, watching random lectures or just going through the notes or writing assignments don't really add up to your final results, unless, of course, the assignment is due tomorrow. If you're writing an assignment which is due for next week, okay, I've chat from Chandramauli. Hi, hello, how are we today? We're doing great, actually. We're talking about how to deal with ruts. Basically, what a rut is when you are having a good few days and you're going very disciplined, you're doing whatever you want to do all the time, and suddenly you reach a point where you miss a habit or something happens and you just switch off and now you're in a place where you don't do all of the habits. Now you feel like shit. You don't feel like getting out of bed. You feel like scrolling on Instagram. You feel like eating junk food. You don't feel like going to the gym. All those things. So where I was using the 80-20 rule to decide what 80% of the results come from the very few 20% of the actions. So if you do miss a few habits, you can prioritize on the 20% of the actions that will give you the most of the output for the day. So if you're a student, it will be reviewing whatever you studied already. It will be, covering a few portions instead of, messing around. If you are a YouTuber, it will be recording a video instead of like reading comments or something. The idea is to do enough work so that you don't feel like you haven't done enough work, so that you keep telling yourself that I'm not disciplined. So when you tell yourself that you're not disciplined, you become not disciplined. Whatever you tell yourself becomes the reality usually. That's how our minds function. All right. Right. So, first thing you do is to prevent. Did I change the setup? Yes, actually, I did change the setup, and I think this one looks cooler, I guess. Does it? I changed the lighting and the orientation, basically. It's almost the same. Oh, he prefers the other one. I mean, yeah, sure. I just like too much light on me. All right. Maybe I can change that. All right. Let me try to change that. I was thinking about it. I was thinking that this is, yeah. Now this should be fine. All right. So the first step is to prevent that narrative of getting into the rut, thinking that you're in a rut, basically. The few keywords that you want to understand is one is frequency. So how often during a year do you get into this phase of not being disciplined? How often do you get ruts? How often during a month you get bad days? And it could be even, you could look at the time frame as a day. How long in a day do you just sit around and scroll and indulge in the bad habits? That could be a way to think about it. It could be in terms of week, it could be in terms of month, it could be in terms of a year. The idea is to look at the frequency. How often does it happen? And you want to reduce the frequency. The second parameter would be the depth. So how deep do you go on the rut? What do you mean by depth? See, we all follow principles and we function with the principles. I have a set of principles that I follow, which are the qualities that I think I should have when I'm older, right? So these principles include doing the things, and these principles require discipline to hold on to. So when I'm not disciplined, usually when in a rut, I let go of the principles. Basically, I let go of the future version's principles for my present version's comfort. Think about this very clearly, okay? What you're doing is, when you're in a rut, you're not disciplined, and your principles require discipline. Now you don't have discipline, so you're not following your principles. And the depth means how deep you go, how down you go, how low you go. What do I mean by that? you know how you have different kind of principles. Some are very fundamental to your identity and existence. So let's say you miss the run that you do every day. It's not that big of a slip up. Let's say you miss going to the gym. It's not that big of a slip up. But let's say you eat junk food. It's fine. See, but there are some things, there are some habits that you consider terrible, that you consider very bad for yourself. So if you go down that is depth. That is you letting go of more and more fundamental principles. Principles that give you the definition of who you are. So if your rut means that you just miss a workout or you eat junk food, you'll still be fine. You'll be able to tell yourself, okay, yeah, bad day. Let's just hope right back. But if your depth is bad, if you go really bad on a rut, if you let go of all those principles, if you become the person that you hate, that's what usually happens when you let go of the principles. Usually, you just you just hate yourself. You just dread doing that thing. So you do damage to your identity, to your personality, to who you are. You do damage to it when you go that low on a rut. So the idea is to reduce the dubs. The idea is to understand that sure, okay, I missed a few things, but let's just not do more damage than we have done already. Let's just stay here. Okay, sure, I missed the workout. Let's just stay with that. Okay, let's just keep it on that level. Let's just not go too low. So first principle is to not let go. Let yourself fall into the rut. That means reduce the frequency of how often you fall into a rut over a period of time. The second principle is to not go that deep into a rut, because the deeper you go, the harder it is to recover. Third principle is recovery time. How long do you take to recover from a rut? Stay hydrated, boys. It's kind of cold here, so my throat is drying up very fast. It's cold and dry. In the meantime, you can ask questions that you want answered regarding self-improvement and psychology. Wait, let me reply to a comment on Discord. I haven't linked the Discord in the description, but you can find it. Wait, how do I help you find it? Okay, let me link it in the description of this live. Or can I put it in the chat? I'll put it in the chat. Tell me, Chandramali, if you can click on the link in the chat. Okay. Yeah, okay, it works. So you can join the Discord server if you're on Discord, and you'll get notifications of when I go live, when I post videos and everything. And I don't ping people just like that, unless it's like really good video and everything. If I feel really proud of the video, if I feel like it will actually really help people, I'll probably ping you for it, and it will be worth it, trust me. So we talked about frequency, then we talked about depth. Now it's about recovery time. So the more you stay on a rut, the more damage you do to yourself. Think about it. You're in a bad place, the longer you stay, the more damage you're going to do to yourself. So the idea is to recover fast. So how do you recover fast? If you understand what a rut is when you don't do the habits that you should do. So if you just do the habits, you'll be able to snap back on, right? But no, that just doesn't work like that because you run out of the motivation and the willpower to hold on to the discipline that you've had for so long. Also, Chandramauli, help me if like, am I talking too fast? Am I like is my because I'm cold and like it's getting harder to speak, and is it really coming through? Is it difficult to understand, or is it proper? So if you stay longer on the rut, you're gonna do permanent damage. There is no concept of permanent damage, but the whatever changes that you feel, you basically understand yourself better when you're on a rut, and some beliefs will shake you, and don't go down to that level. And especially if you go really, really deep on a rut, it becomes psychologically really painful. Okay, thanks, Molly. So, how do you recover from it? One idea is one thing that I've tried and it works usually is do something new, change your environment. That's why I shaved my head basically, because I was in a bad place for so long and I wanted to tell myself to flip into a new version of myself. I know this is, you could be delusional and all those things, but think about this, okay? If you're signaling to your brain directly that, look, this is a new environment, this is an instant new change, your brain will respond to that. If you instantly change things, if you suddenly start doing the good habits voluntarily, and if you usually I trim up my bed, I make myself look better and all those things, and I read something new or things like that will help you deal with the rut and just get out of it. It's sometimes the day one is going to be difficult. Let's say you've been working out for so long and you get a day where you don't work out anymore, and you are in a rut. So if you force yourself to go to the gym, you're going to dread the gym. But let's say you do something different, you do something new, which is you go for a run. So now the brain thinks, okay, it's a difference. So you accompany it with all the affirmations and of all the self-talkings. So you tell yourself that, okay, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do, this happened. But you get the idea that I'm trying to tell you, right? That's why you know, I shaved my head and I started going on runs. I started reading new books because I've been reading a couple of books for quite a while, and I slowly stopped reading them often. So when I picked up a new book, everything feels different, everything feels new, and I was able to discipline myself better. And right now, my exams in college, end semester exams are going on, and I was able to snap back into the place where I can start studying again, and it was because it was easier because I was able to do my good habits. The problem with the rut is that when you do all these good habits, which of course requires discipline and motivation, it helps you by telling yourself that, hey, look, I'm disciplined. So it signals your brain and it makes you feel better. But when you start missing those few habits, you feel worse and it leads you to missing more habits. So that is almost my blueprint for how to deal with ruts. And I've made a video about it before, and I don't know if it did well or anything, but I was thinking about doing another video, and it will be almost the things that are mentioned in the video, but with a bit more graphics and editing and stuff, I guess. So, So, whoever's watching, I have one viewer on the stream right now. If you have any questions to ask, sure, ask right away. If you're thinking what the hell I'm doing, I'm replying on my Discord. I have shared it on the chat. You can join the Discord. Do you agree with the concept of detachment from material life and emotions, or are you against it? I'm going to say the question again. Do you agree with the concept of detachment from material life and emotions, or are you against it? This is not a yes or no question. If anyone thinks this is like the answer to this is black and white, then they're kind of on the extreme. Either you are a materialistic person or you are a monk, if it was a yes or no question, but it is more of a yes but not really kind of question. Because think about this: if life is all about pursuit of material things, then you could go about doing anything, you could hurt anyone and get whatever the hell you want, and if you are happy at the end of it, you're mentally ill, right? But if life is all about spirituality and letting go of everything and sitting on top of a mountain and meditating, then you're not experiencing most of what life has to offer. So the answer has to lie between any of the extreme, right? It should be somewhere in the middle, and depending on how you want to deal with life, you can choose where you want to lie on the spectrum. Now think about it. The life you live shouldn't be all about material things, but it shouldn't be all about spirituality. You can't ever completely detach from life and experience life fully. That brings me to the concept of freedom. Okay, if you have total and utter freedom, you won't be happy, you won't be able to experience things fully, because some things require a bit of depth, bit of rules, bit of restrictions to give the beauty to it. For example, Molly, you've been learning how to play the guitar for a while. If if I gave you the guitar, if I took the guitar from you, and if I just use my freedom to just ramble on, just have my have my fingers go all through the string, just randomly. If you ask me if I'm free, I am free, but I am not creating anything meaningful. I'm not I can't experience the joy of playing the guitar. But if I give it back to you and you play the strings the way they were supposed to be played, with the strings, with the keys, with the I don't know what they call chords, with the chords, and all those things, if you play it in that restriction, in that order, if I ask you if you're free, you'll be like, what do you mean? I'm organized, right? I'm doing it in an order. I'm doing it in the way that it's supposed to be done. But you're having more of the joy. You're creating something more meaningful. Now think about it. If all you think about is that I gotta be free and I gotta be spiritual, I gotta be enlightened and all those things. If you don't have anything material, if you can't experience things other than just whatever is inside, if you can't experience anything external, I don't think you can create anything meaningful. You're gonna find meaning, I guess, in the thing that you do, but you're not gonna create anything meaningful, and you're gonna miss out on the joy of things like family and working for the goals and all those things. But if all you do is you watch YouTube and how to play strings, just all the strings, and if it is very restricted, if you like, forget the analogy of the guitar, for example, for this one. But if all you do is chase material things, then if you think that it will make you happy, it won't. Money is a prerequisite for happiness, but it is not the cause of happiness. For you to be happy, you need enough money to not be unhappy. So you basically need to learn to harness the freedom by giving up some of it. Exactly. You put it better than I did, I guess. It may feel counterintuitive to some people, but that is how you deal with everything. See, when it is love, just because you love someone doesn't mean you let them or you do everything that they want. Guitar example, yeah, thanks. So, if you love someone, you don't do everything that they want. You don't give them everything they want, because that will ruin them. If you have kids in the future, if you just because you love them doesn't mean they should be happy all the time. You see, when they do something wrong, they need to know that this thing shouldn't be done because it's gonna make you unhappy in the future. So sometimes you're gonna have to tell them not to do that, and sometimes that's gonna make them unhappy. Sometimes you're gonna have to discipline them. That is the thing that will balance whatever freedom or love or all those things. Everything comes with that little bit of thing. And if you just focus on being happy in life, if you focus on being pleasant and joyful in the present at all times, you might forsake your future. So when you forsake your future, the future will come back to you in a worse way, and it will be more difficult for you to be happy all the time. So, about detachment from material things, if I chase material success right now, then I can create a good life for my family in the future, and I'll be happy. If I didn't create the material success, I would be stressed. I would be really, really struggling to make ends meet. And if my kid gets sick, if my wife gets sick in the future, and if I'm struggling financially, it's going to be a major problem. If I just focus on being happy right now and joy right now, I can't take good care of my family in the future. Then the other option would be to not have a family, and that would be a lonely existence. Even though if you'll be meditating on top of Himalayas, you'll be lonely, because humans never evolved to live alone. If you get what that means, we evolved in packs, and you can't just avoid that. You can't just be the outlier, because it just doesn't work. And the people who are monks and everything. Huge respect for them, but not the life for me. So, any further questions will be entertained right away. Come on, keep the chat active. I keep seeing a few viewers pop on and off the live stream, and I haven't seen anyone interact with the chat as all. I mean, it will be more fun for you guys when you come to watch the stream, and if you chat something, then I can respond to it. Then it will feel more personal. That's how it works. I mean, I myself felt very eager. I usually feel very eager when I'm on a live stream and I'm te- putting up a message, and like when they reply, you feel good, right? It's just how it is. Sure, go ahead. So I was thinking I'll stream for probably just another 20 minutes, probably. Would you force yourself to live stream if you're feeling unmotivated? That's a good question. If I was unmotivated, see, like I decided to do the live stream like 2 hours ago. I was like, I don't have much tasks left for the day, so I'll live stream. And because I told myself that, and if my mood changed, like within that 2 hours, I would still live stream. If I decide that I'd stream today, if I decided it yesterday, and then I had a bad day and everything, then if I had the option to, and if I really, really think that like the live stream would be bad, then there is no point in doing it. This is not about me, it's about both of us. It's about me and you, the viewer, watching it. So if I just come on here and just sit here like this and be like, yeah, sure, guys, okay, Molly's saying something. That wouldn't be a good live stream. That wouldn't do me any good. That won't do you any good. But let's say if the chat was much more active, and then I would come on here and you guys will ask things, and I'll be talking about things that I'm actually passionate about. So I will actually look forward to doing these live streams. So that would make a difference actually. I still have two concurrent viewers, and Chandramauli is the only one who's texting. So I urge the other person, whoever's watching the stream, to comment something. At least I'll know who's watching now. Come on, go ahead. So Chandramauli, any more questions? It's always fun to answer Chandramauli's questions because I can go on a very good tangent on the topic and then go on down and on about the questions. So Chandramouli, ask me another question, man. Come on. Don't keep me just sitting here. Use the 20 minutes that you've got of me on a live stream. Good question. Any new life lessons learned these days? Okay. This one's going to be a hard pill to swallow. You're gonna think me toxic for it, probably even. But nothing in life is free. Nothing in life is free. If someone is giving you a favor, sometimes you'll have to think long and hard before accepting it. You know why? This is from the book Influence, The Science of Persuasion by. Let me adjust the camera, is this better? Yeah. Influence, The Science of Persuasion by Robert Caldiani. I still didn't learn how to pronounce his name. It's Caldiani, I think. The book is Influence, The Science of Persuasion, and in that there is a chapter about reciprocation. Reciprocation means you do something for someone and they feel obliged to pay you back. So, some people who are gonna try to manipulate you, could give you favors so that you feel obliged to return the favor back. There was this account given in that book where during some event in a school, kids were giving away candy and chocolates to the parents of the kids who were coming to the school for the event. And one of those guys rejected the sweet, and the kid was giving it very joyfully to the people who were coming along, and the guy just rejected it, and she was like, just take it, it's free. And he was persistent about not taking it, and later on when he was asked the question, he's like, I didn't know what the catch was. Okay, you could say that this guy is a bit too paranoid or anything, but most of the time, if you have, and especially Indians, we have this tendency to take anything given for free just right away, because God, it's free. Free food is always good and all those things, but remember that most of the time nothing in life is free. So be mindful when you feel like someone might be using the power of reciprocity against you. If someone's giving you a favor and you feel like that is the kind of person who would use that against you, just don't accept it. Cialdini. Okay, thanks. It's Robert Cialdini. Yeah, it is. It is Cialdini. Thanks, Chandramali. I have the audiobook of that book, and I was listening to it while I went on a trip. How do I start loving myself instead of chasing others? Please don't make fun of me. No, that is a good question actually. I'm smiling because of the part of you said please don't make fun of me. We don't do that, man. Like, this is about self improvement, self help, and betterment, all those things. If you don't just make fun of people for asking the right questions. How do I start loving myself instead of chasing others? It's almost the same as the question of how do I find the joy and happiness within myself instead of looking for it external. Most of the time, we feel a void. Feel a void in our chest because of something lacking in our life. And we try to overcome that lack by doing some of those things. Some people chase other people, some people chase attention, some people chase affection, some people chase physical touch, some people try to fill that void through other methods. Some people do it by, going all in on something. Some people do it by betting on sports. Some people do it by going on adrenaline heavy things. Some people do it by doing extreme sports and all those things. But what everyone's chasing is there's this void, and they're trying to fill it by all those things. So The real question you should be asking is there anything that is missing from my life? What am I missing from my life? And most often, you'll find the answer if you look that question to the past version of you. If you ask you from 5 years ago or 10 years ago, if you ask that kid, hey, what do you want? What is there that is missing in your life right now? You'll usually find the answer. Because what I found is with avoidant parents, the kids end up attention seekers later on in their life. So let's say a girl who had a father who is avoidant or neglecting, and like she feels like she don't get enough care, she'll grow up to become an attention seeking girl, and she'll just go behind men who will give her that attention that she never got. So what she should have asked is, what did I lack in my life earlier that is making me follow this? So if you feel like it's difficult for you to love yourself, it could be due to something from your past where you felt unworthy of the love, if people made you feel that way, and all those things. So instead of that, what you're doing is you're chasing something you never got, but you're just supposed to give it to yourself. If you're lacking love, if you lacked love in the past and you are not giving it to yourself and chasing it from someone else, you won't be able to get it anyways. That's just how it is. I think it's clear. Or if you want to ask any follow-up questions, I'll be willing to answer it. If you're wondering where my hands are gone, it's in my sweatpants pockets because it's quite cold out here. Isn't it sad the people that we think are bad are just troubled humans? Not always, alright? I've had people to do me wrong, and I've had people do me wrong and made me think about their past. Oh, they have their reasons. But I've had other people who did me wrong voluntarily, and I've felt, what is wrong with this person? So it's not always just trouble humans. Some are actually evil. I believe in evil people too. That's another new life lesson that I learned. Evil people do exist. People who actually want bad for you exist. So win and smash them. Please don't hide your prayers. Come on. Why would someone want bad for you? Good question. See, some people want to feel in control. Some people want to affirm whatever they already believe. Some people feel like if things go the way they want, that they're in control, and that they themselves are filling the same void that you have. But the difference between you and that person is that they choose to do it the wrong way. They choose to do wrong to someone so that they can deal with their problems. You understand me? The difference between you and them is you both treat someone wrong to fix that void, but they choose to harm others, you choose to harm yourself. That makes them evil, makes you sad, but they feel in control. If they feel in control, they feel like they're winning. When you feel like you're winning, you don't think about the void. But when it finally falls off, when people realize they've been playing like when you realize that that person is playing, and then when that person realizes that you know, when the narcissists know that you know, their tricks have been exposed, their magic don't work anymore, and the void is more pronounced than ever. So if you still ask, why would someone want bad for you? So that they can feel better about themselves in a very wicked way. Any more questions? I feel like I'm answering these questions properly. If you feel like any of those were unclear or anything, you can surely, you know, tell me that you didn't understand it. So, yeah, I'm thinking within 10 minutes we're ending the life. So, any more questions? How do you identify such people? Really good question. See, let's call them players. Let's not call them manipulators. The players, depending on how good they're at their game, the harder it is for you to spot them. They will trick you, they'll manipulate you, they will how they will, you know, make you play their game almost in a way that you feel like you're making the decisions, but it's just them pulling the strings all along. How do you identify the narcissist? It is really difficult. You have to look for patterns. You have to look for laps. You have to test sometimes. I feel wrong. I feel difficult. It feels, you know, it gives me pain to tell you to not trust people without testing them. But that is the reality that we live in. Some people are just really good at their game and they will fuck you over really bad. I don't know if I'm supposed to swear, but it's always patterns. It's, if you think about it, when people act according to their principles, they go in a certain pattern. But if they're acting according to what will make you think a certain way, then eventually you will find some inconsistencies in their actions, and that's how you pick it apart. And then then you will have to play the game. Then you'll have to act like you don't know you're being played and look for more inconsistencies. And when you realize that, that person is a narcissist or a control freak, you gotta, silently pull away. How do you test them? See, when you notice inconsistencies in the principles and the actions, you have to set up more of the scenarios where this could be more pronounced. Let me think of an example. Someone who you think does something to give me an example for someone doing a certain thing so that you will think that they like you. Person A wants you to think that person A likes you. So person A does that thing. Give me an example for that, and I will, kind of give you an example how to test that. Hanging out, yeah. So, going out of there. Yeah, that's a very good idea. See, if if they really want to hang out with you, they would make plans. They would rearrange things. They will try to make space for you in their life. But but if they really just want you to think that you like them, or I'm sorry, they like you, then they won't be, if they're really that invested that they will actually make plans so that you think that they like you, then that's a very high level player. Okay, we're talking about that person. We're talking about the normal people, players. But so the way they would do it is, they will still hang out with you on their free time, when not changing anything in there. So when you call them to hang out, they will come up with an excuse that would bring sympathy to them. Like, it would probably turn into, like, when you want to hang out, when you talk to that person, and they will almost turn it in a way that will make you feel bad for asking out at that time. So sorry, I'll call you out some other time. You know what I mean? I don't know if you understand it. But their idea is to play victim and all those things. So, and later on, and if it's actually important that you don't, like, if a situation comes where you really can't hang out and you're in the middle of something, and you tell them, let's not hang out, and they're just free, and like they're just wanting you to get out, what will eventually happen is, when the next time you ask them to come out and they're not really having anything to do, but they don't want, because they don't really care, they'll use the previous one against you. It's like, when I have important shit, you make a big fuss out of it, but when you get what I'm trying to say, right? It's all about manipulation. It's about making you think that you're the bad person, and like, making you feel like they're doing everything but you're not. That's the idea. Is it clear? Does it work? If you did understand everything, and like there's no follow-up question, I'm thinking of ending the stream. Just a few minutes of wrapping it up. If you got something to ask, say. Is that it? Is that all? Is it clear? I mean, drink water. Yeah. So, if that's all, I'm really happy for being able to host you, and have a good discussion. It was good. The Rut discussion was good, and the questions asked by Molly was really good. If that's all there is to be asked, well, sure, let's wrap it up, because I gotta go sleep. Going to filter out the narcissist. Good luck on that, brother. And that's where the live stream ends. Thank you so much for watching. And if anyone's watching the replay after the live stream, go ahead and watch the videos. Thank you for the stream. Thank you for showing up, Molly. Always a pleasure. Signing out.